So if you're like me and everyone else in the crypto market, you're probably wondering what the hell is going on? Are we going up? Are we going down? What is happening? I'm going to do my best to answer the current trend and where I think Bitcoin will go. Just keep in mind, guys, that whenever I do these videos, the market can go either way. No matter who you are, no matter what model you use, no matter what indicators you use, no method in the world can predict every single buyer and every single seller in the market. If someone wants to wake up tomorrow and they get a piece of news that no one else has at the moment, they can dump the Bitcoin or they can buy Bitcoin and then the news follows hours or sometimes days after. That's the nature of it. We're not the smart money. We don't have the big deep pockets, but we can follow them and do our best to follow their trail and footprint as much as possible. That's what technical analysis is about for us retailers. We're there trying to see what the smart money is doing, predict their movements, see where accumulation and distribution are happening, and try and time the market the best we can. It's not to say we always get it right, but we're trying to do this in a game of probabilities, right? It's a game of probabilities. It's how sure am I right? Am I sure enough to bet this much money for this much reward or not? Always think of it in terms of probability, guys, and it's not about getting it right every time. It's not about getting it wrong most of the time. It's about making a model that is consistent and viable and profitable, whatever system that may be. That's a very general sense, but I'm starting to see in a lot of people's other videos, as well as my own, that I respectfully feel like people don't understand the method of technical analysis or even fundamental analysis or investing in a market in general. Again, it's not about being right all the time. It's about getting it right most of the time, or when you're right with a long-term goal to make increasing profits. That's enough ramble. Let's just look at Bitcoin and we'll look at the macro scale and then we'll start going into it. So if you look at my macro scale, this is basically the retracement going from $0 all the way to the high Bitcoin. The yellow golden line is the magic 50% line. Again, big shout out as always to Jason and Michael Pizzino, my fellow Aussies out there. Thank you for your content. It's been really, really helpful to my own and I've been able to become a successful investor because of it. So the 50% is a very, very important line and you can see just how well this tool works because we had the high in basically October, November with Bitcoin, and then we had a downtrend until we found support where at the 50% mark. Look how well this tool worked because it pretty much called the bottom of Bitcoin not once but twice, once in February 24th and again in January 24th, and that low came in at about 34,000, give or take a few hundred anyway. So to say it will always bounce off this perfectly, it can obviously shoot right through, it can miss it by a few thousand, but it giving us some sort of rounded or some sort of goal or some sort of figure that, okay, the smart money has clearly bought Bitcoin up at these levels. So we can see if we look at January 24th, you can see to the left of the indicator of the bar means it opened, the right means the close, everything else is the high and the low. So you can see all that fear in January 4th, dumped on, got bought back up, closed strong, higher than average volume. That white line here is the average volume. So we had a good dump and then finally a sign that the smart money was buying Bitcoin. Up until then, we never did have that sign. It got dumped on, a bit of support came in, but it didn't close high enough on the bar, and we just made lower lows before eventually breaking it here on the 4th of January. But like I said, we've gotten to a point now where Bitcoin has been able to prove itself not once, but twice at that level of 34,000. So that is a potential sign that for now, the low of Bitcoin is in, or the lowest we can expect to see Bitcoin is 34,000. Where are we now? Well, we had some dumps across since then, since February 24th. We've had some dumps, we've had some good runs, but at the moment we're focusing on the dumps to see how far we are. Now, if we look at from where we are now to the low, that's about an extra 10, 11% Bitcoin can continuously go down by. I don't see us breaking this 34,000 because like I said, there's a lot of support happening on the 24th of February. Let me look at the size of how big that volume is and January 24th. So if Bitcoin were to get to that price, expect it to be a lot of support there to support the market and push the price back up or level it out a little bit. So like I said, we've still got another 11% before we get there. But what are we expecting in the next coming days? Well, what can we see since April 25th? We've got the high volume close strong on the bar. And this was actually very bullish on this day because finally, when you see a bar like this where all that fear just gets gobbled up and closes strong, it's a really good sign. So we're just seeing this, right? We only see this. We only see this awesome close and you're looking for your altcoins and things are looking really good. Like, okay, it got pushed back up. It's looking great. But then you get the next day, the reversal, where basically you have a high open and a very, very, very low close on high volume. And we don't have a defined trend. And this is really what I want to say is that basically from roughly 11th of April, or you could even pretty much push it back to February or even January, this whole zone basically here, let me get my brush here, This whole zone has just been basically one big sideways churn of just no movement, right? The market decides it wants to get up, then it decides it wants to go down, decides it wants to go up, down, slightly up, down, and we'll see where we go in the next coming days. The good news is that on today, as I'm recording this, we've got another 12 hours and 54 minutes of the daily with a low open, and it's looking like a good strong close. The thing that we have to keep in mind, guys, is that there's nothing wrong waiting for the trend to unfold and show itself. Where are we going, right? Are we going up? Are we going down? We don't know. All we know so far is that we had a strong close, then we had an outside bar where basically the bar went up and down. It's closing higher with a higher high with a lower low. Again, enormous volume. When you see enormous volume, that means there was a big bunch of activity happening that day. But we had the reversal, and we have to respect the reversal. If this happened the other way, it'd look much better. So if we had this bar here and the 25th basically swap, it would look better. But at the moment, it has to call it like I see it, which is a slight downtrend. The only thing that makes me think that it's maybe not that bad of a downtrend is, like I said, we've got that 50% playing out, and the fact that a lot of coins are starting to move up, as you're seeing in the daily. Now, like I said, we've got another 12 hours and 53 minutes left of the day, so we have to see how the trend unfolds, how it shows, because we need that clear trend. It's too hard to see. It's hard to see what's happening. If we even jump in on the hourly, and let's just jump in on the 4-hour chart, we can see big sell-offs going on the 26th at basically 10 o'clock. And then we saw another big day, but look at the spread. Even though the volume was higher 4 hours later, you can see the volume was slightly higher. You can see the close was very, very small. It only closed 0.76% lower with a much higher, well, slightly higher volume than it did at 10 o'clock, which fell by over 4%. So that's how you want to look at it, right? The increasing volume, spreads going lower, meaning that selling can be done. But this is on a 4-hour chart, so we need to look at even further out. If we look at the 8-hour chart, we'll see something similar, right? Big volume, big spread, considering the 8-hour time frame. And the next day, or the next 8 hours, we have a higher volume with low spread. And then now we start to get the reversal where we're starting to look like prices are going up. But this is on the 8-hour chart. I want to stress that. You want to look at the daily and to see what's happening. We don't have a clear defined trend. Where could it go? Well, it's hard to say, guys. Like I said, I think we will continue to go down. I think we are inevitably going to test this 50% at some point. We don't know when, but we have to let things play out and see how they go. I know a lot of people want a definite answer. This is definitely happening. It's definitely going up. Oh, you're just saying it's going sideways. Oh, you're just, you're genius. I clicked on your video. You didn't even tell me anything. But like I said, the trend is not well defined yet. No one can see this trend and say, okay, we had high, good, strong close on the 18th of April. Then we had an up thrust day where basically the energy looked weak. We had a big volume day where the price went nowhere. Then we had a good day where it closed very strong on the bar. And then we had a down day right after. And now we're looking up. It's too choppy. This is a very, 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 very hard call for any technical analysis to actually put a good judgment and call it. It's very, very tough. Now, like I said, if you were to ask me, I still think we're going on a downtrend in the next coming days to coming weeks. I just think that we're probably going to test this 50% at some point. We might get close to it, but I think we're still going to have a little bit more pain before we find some really good support coming in. But like I said, we had the 24th of February and we had the January 24th, and we haven't had to test those lows yet, but we've come and we found support at the March lows for now. And so that would be basically here. And that's been enough to support the market so far. So that could be the low, and we start going up higher and higher. That could definitely pay the way forward. But until we break this 625 mark of 43K, which would be this one on the 21st, and again on the 11th of April, until we break that line, that's going to tell me the trend has reversed. But until we break this, it's still going sideways. So for me, I'll basically draw it here, that black horizontal line, that for me is basically the support. Until we break this, or the white line at 625 mark, as long as we are in this range, we are going sideways. I can't call it for me personally. I need to see the price either go above the 625 mark at, like I said, 43K, or I need to see it break that horizontal line at around 37.5K roughly. And then I can see, okay, it's a downtrend, but I need the trend to just unfold and reveal itself. It's too muddy, it's too tough to see. And probably the smart money is even having the same problems, right? They're all competing with each other, all having different information and things like that. They're having a tough time seeing where the market wants to go at the moment. And this is across all of crypto and all markets in general. It's happening everywhere. It's really tough to call it. So just respect the trend, guys. Respect any YouTuber who can't call it right now, because these are very, very hard calls to make. We just need the trend to unfold itself. If we have a look at Ethereum, Ethereum looks much, much better, to be honest. Ethereum, again, same thing. We had the high open with a good strong close on the 25th of April. And then the next day on the 26th of April, we had the bad close. But what I like about this again is that we're having the next day and we're showing strength in the market. So you can see day looking strong, day looking weak, next day looking strong. Now, of course, the next day could look weak and then where we go. But what I like about ETH is that we're still a very, very sizable chunk away from its 50%. The more further we get away from this mark at $2,400 per ETH, the more stronger it looks. And it looks even stronger than Bitcoin because this coin is actually still a healthy, almost 15, 16% away from its 50%. Whereas if you look at Bitcoin in terms of relative terms, Bitcoin was about 11%. Ethereum is about 16%. So Ethereum's looking more stronger, more bullish and holding up the alts and actually making the market look stronger overall, which is what you want to see. But again, what did I say? 625 market rejection here as well. So we need to see Ethereum break these, but we need the trend to unfold. Now this is slightly better, slightly stronger. So if there was any coin I wanted to invest in at the moment, it'd be Ethereum. But at the moment, I can't call this trend because we're still going sideways a little bit since basically the 11th of April, and I need the trend to unfold itself. So at the moment, too hard to call. Looking a little bit stronger with ETH, looking a bit better. Next coming days, we might start to reveal itself and start to show its hand a little bit. This could just be a bit of a sucker's rally before we start going, maybe we could get something like that. We could end up having something like that. We need the trend to unfold itself. Then we have a look at total market cap 1. So if I look back, right back out, you can see we're still well above our 50%. And like I said, look at that. Look how well this 50% tool works. On the 22nd of January, it landed on it and perfectly bounced off. So that would be here. And then 24th bounced perfectly. February 24th bounced perfectly. This is how good this tool can be used in the 50% level. It's not to say it always does work, but what it tells us is that if you look at the white area, which is the strong half, you can see that the overall cryptocurrency is still macro in the bull market. We are still very much in it. We're just hitting a bit of a downtrend on the short-term basis since basically January when we started to get hit pretty hard. But again, the market revealed its hand and it showed that the ultimate support for Bitcoin was, or the ultimate support for the crypto market was that 1.5 trillion, which it bounced off, like I said, 3 times. So that's something to look into, and still we can definitely get lower. So we can still go from here to lower about 14%, still more pain there. And once again, 625 mark, maybe 666 mark to show that the trend is upwards. Nothing wrong with waiting to reveal itself that this is now an uptrend if we were to see it. Nothing wrong with waiting for that. No one can call this market at the moment. It's really, really hard to say. Total market cap 2, again, same thing. We're above our 50%. You can see the 50% is coming in again, perfectly bouncing off it 3 times. And again, 625 mark needs to come through it. 666 mark needs to get through it. And then we can start saying, okay, we've got a high chance of an uptrend happening now. Now it's the time to go into the alts. Total market cap 3 is actually looking pretty damn strong as well. Very similar. 666 mark needs to come out at 754 billion or right around, 745 billion. And then we can start saying, okay, the trend is up. But what I love about all this market, guys, is you can see support did come in. When we were going down, we didn't know where the support was, right? When the high came in at November, and then we started to go sideways, and then December came in, and then we had basically start of January. You can see we started to get lower lows, and these levels started to get broken. We didn't know when the smart money was there to scoop it up and to say, okay, we're buying in at this price. But finally we did on January 22nd and 24th and February 24th, particularly January 24th and February 24th. Those were the 2 dates that showed the smart money's coming in, it's gobbling it up, it's keeping it, it wants it. At that price, it's a very, very attractive price point. If we look at Bitcoin dominance has continued to bounce off the 2.5 mark at 41%, and it's looking like it wants to get to 50% mark. This is the opposite, so the inverse. So the more Bitcoin dominance goes up, the worse it is for the alts. So until we start getting past basically 42, 43%, basically, if we can start breaking these levels and those levels, then that would start having me to be a little bit more worried that the money's coming out of the alts. But for now, it still very much is a possibility that we can have a bit of a run for the alts. So speaking of the alts, what are the best altcoins to buy, or what are the ones that I'm looking at? I want to make sure that I'm going to link my video of the strongest cryptos because a lot of them are still actually looking pretty strong. So the first one I'll start with is actually Arweave. So let's get Arweave up. So I'll show you Arweave. This is another coin. So let's just look at the bars and analyze how these have been going. So if I have a look there, so again, we have our dates, 25th of April and 26th of April. These were the 2 days where things reversed. What we're looking for in an altcoin is the strongest on the 25th and the strongest or the least weak, because they're all pretty weak on the 26th of April. Now, if I show you Arweave is the only crypto I've been able to see that closed relatively mid on the bar, almost mid. So you can see there was the close on the 26th. Everything else looked horrible. Let's have a look at AVAX. AVAX open, low close, decent volume before it got up. But look on the 25th of April, got bought back up, right high, closed strong, closed on the high on the end of the day. On the 25th, the day opened high, closed low on high volume, and now it's trending. But the good news is that we had one half, which is on the 25th, closed strong, then it closed weak. If we have a look at, say, Atom, this one closed relatively strong, decent volume, but still didn't close on the high end. It still was a down day regardless. And the next day, we have a down bar or a downswing where basically we have a lower high and a lower low indicating a down, and we have a bit of an upthrust playing around. So Atom looks a little bit weak at the moment. If we have a look at, say, something like Chili's, you can see all that got bought back up, closed really, really strong, had a little bit of volume, trying to increase the price before getting hit down hard, closed, and now we're on the way up again. But something to pay attention to is notice that this high on the bar is a bit higher. This is a very critical point that I want to emphasize, because what you're looking for is the volume that came in to try to push the price up. If it came to push the price up, more than likely they'll do it again later on. And that's something to really pay attention to. If you look at, say, Anchor, this is basically the point. I'll link my Anchor video as well up the top if you want to watch that, but I basically said that I really liked Anchor. Now, we had a huge upthrust day on the 21st, another upthrust day on the 22nd, but what you had was increasing volume. Now, it's not the best when you see two upthrust days in a row. Of course, you're going to get hit very hard because all the energy trying to push the prices up. For every buyer, there's a seller right now, and that's what causes these upthrust bars, where basically you're getting the price up and then it closes weak. Up, closes weak. And then you have the down bar, but again, 25th of April, closes extremely strong, good volume. And the next day, downtrend, but you can already see increasing volume. So Anchor looks like it's having some volume trying to move the price up. Of course, it can be all exhausted and there's no more buyers, and that's what causes the dump. But the thing is you're getting players into this crypto. That's the really key point there. If your crypto has no volume, there's nothing pushing up the price. If I have a look at, say, Axie Infinity, you'll see that we didn't have much volume. You can see the volume really drying off. And then on 25th of April, good volume came in, but look at that. It didn't close strong on the bar. It closed relatively weak. The next day you get decent high volume, high open, low close, and you can see, what did I tell you about the bar here? You can see how the bar here is lower than this one, so it's a down bar, and therefore you're having a lower than average volume for the day as well. So I have to say that in the coming days, some whale just puts all this money in Axie. They have information before any of us do, some announcements coming, and that's what pushed the price up. But like I said, we're the retail money. We're not the smart money who can pump hundreds of millions of dollars into these cryptos because we have access to contacts that no one else does. That's not how we play the game, unfortunately. We have to wait for the reaction, we have to see the volume, we have to clarify the trend, and then we can go in. That's the way retail goes. EGLD, I talked about this crypto a lot, and I said that I love this crypto and it still is looking strong. So if we have a look now, so we had a 25th of April, extremely high volume. Look at that, closed really strong. So opened all that fear and closed very, very high on the bar with a very, very strong close. Next day, high volume and low close. Today, decent volume kicking in, but you can see the volume increasing for EGLD. So they're trying to push the price up, and we need to see, and we have to respect that they're trying to push the price up for these things. And that's really, really good to see. Phantom, this one finally looks like maybe the price might be in. This has been an absolutely catastrophe of a crypto that has fallen. There's your March low, there's your February low, there's your January low. And you can see the lows just got lower and lower. And I said, this is one of the worst cryptos you can invest in at the moment because it's just an absolute downtrend getting hit. Finally, looks like maybe that even dollar might start being the support for EGLD, for Phantom, sorry. So you can see, again, if we look in at the bar, very, very strong close. High volume closes extremely strong on the day, and then the next day you get the reversal, but you can see outside bar. So we have a higher high and a lower low, and now we have another day where finally Phantom might start getting a bit of a move on because we have some volume coming in where that even dollar looks like an attractive price for Phantom. So hopefully this is all starting to make sense. If I have a look at, say, FTX, this is probably one of my favorite altcoins. Big volume, you can see 17th of April, big volume 18th of the April. Then again, 21st of April, big volume. Then we have 25th of April, big volume. 26th of April, big volume. See how the volume bars are getting pretty big? There's activity happening here. There's whales pushing up the price or trying to push up the price. There's a lot of indecisiveness, but at least people are coming to the party. That's the important thing. If people aren't coming to the party pushing up the prices, it's a very, very, very bad sign, right? Look at ICP. This is a crypto that I do not like at all. And you can see the price, you can just see this has been an absolute catastrophe downtrend. 24th of low, started to actually get a decent push up in March, getting hit hard, found support on the 24th of February low, which is at least something good. Look at this. The volume just hasn't really come in there except for the last 2 days only. It's not the worst thing, but you want consistent volume. You want volume to come across in the days and the weeks and just showing that people aren't leaving the club, right? You want people to be there, makes it more lively, can make a more enjoyable crypto that's actually pushing up the price. If you've ever sat there and you're like, why isn't my crypto going up? Because no one's in your club. No one cares about your crypto. Not everyone cares about every single crypto. This is a bear market. They're putting their money in on selected cryptos. I can keep going on and going through it, but hopefully I've given you a template of what to see. You can see Kusama actually starting to have some decent volume in now. 20th of February, good volume, good strong close on the 25th. Look at that. Closes up higher on the bar. The next day closes low on the bar, but we still have a higher low, which is really important. We have a bit of an up thrust playing, so it looks like the energy might have been exhausted. Too many people try to buy it up. There's not enough at the moment, and that's what's causing this weak movement. But like I said, we've got another 12 hours and 37 minutes. Anything can happen. So that's just some of the things I'm looking for at the moment. Like I said, guys, there's no tradable opportunities in terms of things that are just going to pump very quickly at the moment. Probably the only thing that's actually done a very, very good push has actually been Rose. Rose has actually done pretty well already on the day, looking very, very good. You can already see, what did I say about volume? 2 heavy, very big energy days. Next day up, already up 5.6%. Does that mean you should buy Rose right now? It's up to you and your investment strategy, but a lot of these things, what I would be saying and what I'm doing for myself is preparing for the next bull run and seeing which cryptos are going to do well in the next bull run. And I've already got my picks. I think it's going to be FTX. I think it's going to be ARW, even EGLD. I think those three are really what I'm comfortable going into the next bull run with. Luna, I want to get at a cheaper price. AVAX, I want to still stock up more, but I want to, it's sitting at a pretty good price as well. But there's just, I'm taking it slow and really just letting those cryptos prove itself every single dip and just seeing where the energy is. If there's a dip and it's just no strong closes, it means that it's just been weaked. I have to, find other cryptos out there that are not being sold off as hard and getting bought back up. That's basically what I'm looking for in terms of strength with crypto. It's just a plan. It's just probabilities, guys. It doesn't mean it's always right or wrong. It's a game of probabilities. It's going into it with a plan, an idea, and going through that plan. And that is what you can tweak later on, adjust it. And that's what's going to get you hopefully profits throughout your life, really, not just at one bull run or another. You want to be consistent throughout your life. That's going to do it for my rambling. I hope this video helped. It's a little bit different than what I normally do, but let me know in the comment below if you found this helpful, and let me know how you're going during these times as well. But until then, everyone, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next video.